Hi, everyone. My name is Greg Knight, and I like watching, thinking about, and talking about movies. One of the great things about starting your own podcast is that there are some days where you get to actually talk to the creators of those movies. Our series, Under the Stole, is where you can find those conversations. I've had the opportunity to interview award-winning directors, up-and-coming documentarians, and even a legit Abraham Lincoln historian. So if you are curious about the creative spirit and want to learn more about how artists are inspired to make their passion projects, check out Under the Stole right here on the Popping Collars feed. Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm Betsy.
And this is Going on 30, a Popping Collars side project where I didn't kill my wife. Where we talk about movies that were nominated or should have been nominated for Best Picture 30 years ago. Sorry, I don't know what came over.
I mean, a line that works in any conversation. It really is an opener. Meeting someone new for the first time.
Fancy seeing you down here in the sewer. By the way, didn't kill my wife. Just kill my FYI.
Wife. Yeah.
This month, we're looking at the Harrison Ford hit, The Fugitive.
I came home, there was a man in my house. He had an artificial arm.
Are you saying that I killed my wife? Are you saying that I crushed her skull and that I shot her?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. We have a fugitive that's been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven ground, barring injury, is 4 miles an hour. That will give you a radius of 6 miles. What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or dog house in this area. Checkpoints will go up at 15 miles. Your fugitive's name is Dr. Richard Kimball. Go get him.
It's finally Fugitive time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Fugitive sound bites for the last 3 years on our pod. Whenever we made reference to the Fugitive, I would play the hard target search audio. Betsy, I have a not so brief description of the Fugitive. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
All right, settle in. This is a decent sized paragraph.
Okay. And then I have. So, well, actually, I'll save mine. I'm going to save mine. Okay, you go ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. Mine will come later when we get to outside reviewers. I have a contribution this week. I'm
awesome.
excited. Okay. All right. Give me this. I don't know why this would be long though.
Well, I don't know either. I haven't actually read it, so I'm reading.
Okay.
it.
All right. Go.
We're doing it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. I'm excited.
Wrongfully.
Does it say card from a 1963 show?
Right,
starring
exactly.
blah 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 that ran for 120
Yeah,
episodes.
exactly. It's got to give you all the historical data.
To do all the history. Okay.
All right, here we go. Wrongfully convicted of murdering his wife and sentenced to death, Richard Kimball. That's Dr. Richard Kimball, by the way.
Yes.
Dr. Richard.
Don't forget, he earned a degree. Greg.
Right. Escapes from the law in an attempt to find her killer and clear his name. Pursuing him is a team of U.S. Marshals led by Deputy Samuel Gerard, a determined detective who will not rest until Richard is captured. As Kimball
never knew Tommy Lee Jones's character name. Keep going.
As Kimball leads the marshals through a series of intricate chases, he uncovers the secret behind his wife's death and struggles to expose the killer before he is recaptured or killed. May I also say that there is a strong anti-prescription drug element to this movie too that I forgot existed. This is like
way before oxycodone.
Yeah, this is like anti-Purdue before anti-Purdue.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
The normal metabolic pathways in the liver. And the drug's name is Provasic. As I will show you tonight, Provasic is remarkably effective and has no side effects whatsoever. It is also noteworthy that this drug was developed in cooperation, not competition, with the Chicago Memorial Hospital in what we hope will be the model for continued honest open joint ventures between academic medicine and pharmaceutical industry. Richard, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of this speech.
You almost got away with it, didn't you? I know all about it. I can prove it.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Richard Kimball doesn't feel well, obviously, so if you just go on with your dessert and coffee, Richard, do you mind to step aside and let's talk? Okay. So, I'll be back in just a second.
You changed the samples, didn't you, huh? You switched the samples after Lentz died.
Let's stay calm, people.
After Lentz died, you were the only one who had the access. You switched the samples and the pathology reports. Did you kill Lentz too, huh?
Can we get some security in here, please?
Did you? You falsified his research so that our DU-90 could be approved and Devlin McGregor could give you Provasic.
That's not even in your thing.
that's right.
That's not even in there.
That wasn't even in here.
Because that person's like, I kind of don't understand this part of the story, so I'm not going to include it.
It's like I don't know why he was asking that guy from Prince of Tides if he killed Lentz. I just don't know what that was about.
I don't know what's going on.
Betsy, what is your history with The Fugitive?
It's such easy watching, right?
So easy. I put this on at 10:30 last night. Usually I would fall asleep. No way. Never
Came home from
never even got
class
drowsy.
today. Watch this movie.
Yep.
Came home from class. Watch the movie. Easy stuff. I feel like it's one of those. It was definitely one of those things you run into on cable and you're watching, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I saw this in the theater.
I think so.
Because it would have been something easy to agree on, but it also could be a movie that you rented and then you were able to watch with your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this would be a holiday break pleaser.
It's a for
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody would watch it.
Yeah.
You got some Harrison Ford. There's no embarrassing sexy time, really. Right. I mean, Thela Ward, she's
there is. That's actually one of my scorching hot takes. We'll get to it.
Oh Lord. But yeah, so it's that I think was my history with The Fugitive. Yeah.
I don't know. This would have been one that I probably would have watched in the theater, but I don't think I watched it in the theater. We'll get to it when we get to stats about the movie. There's a lot of
swearing in this, Greg. You might have been too young.
I mean, maybe kind of. But this was definitely a blockbuster rental for the fan. Yeah. So I know that we would have caught it then. We used to go to the movies. This was a summer movie, and we used to go to the movies like every week in the summer. It felt like. So it's possible that we went to go see this, but I am for sure that this was a blockbuster.
This was a summer movie?
Yeah, it was a late summer. It was like in August.
Because the weather does not say summer movie.
No, the weather says Chicago.
This made me feel cold.
Yes.
In this movie. I've been watching a lot of Fargo recently in my life, and this movie kind of meshed with that situation.
I mean, it's set around St. Patrick's Day, right? So
yeah.
Chicago's a cold place. I don't know if you know this, Betsy. I don't know if you remember from your Northwestern time.
Yes,
Chicago is cold.
It has been snowy here in Northern Virginia, Greg, and I have been thinking about it. Thinking about that silk long underwear. Never knew that was a thing. Then I went to Chicago.
What are your initial takes on The Fugitive after this recent rewatch?
Okay. First off, I don't think I ever really know what Tommy Lee Jones' character's name is. I do always think he is just Tommy Lee Jones. So rewatching, this film has a component that listeners of this podcast will know is a weakness for me that allows me to like even bad movies. This is not a bad movie. And that is a team of people with witty banter working together. Yes. So the team of U.S. Marshals, I love them all so much. They make me incredibly happy. In particular, some standouts in the group. Like, let's get there. We really like
Joey Pants.
We love Joey Pants. All day we love Joey Pants.
Yep.
I love L. Scott Caldwell.
Yep.
As Poole.
Get it done.
Great. Tom Wood, who's Newman with the pony, with his Tears for Fears ponytail.
Discount Eric Stoltz. Discount Eric
Stoltz. Also looks a little bit like there's this curly haired actor who's really big in the 90s who had red hair. I'm going to think of him in a little bit.
Yeah.
The group, Daniel Roebuck Biggs, who I remember playing Jay Leno in a TV movie about the late night TV wars.
Oh, that movie is great. The Late Shift?
Yes.
That movie is great.
The Late Shift.
Oh my God.
But, I just appreciated that group, right? Working together.
Yep.
That always sells it for me a lot.
St. Louis. So he showed up not dead yet. Let that be a lesson to you boys and girls. Don't ever argue with the big dog. Big dog is always right.
Yeah, you've been right before.
All right.
Walter, this is Richard.
Richard? Jesus. Why did you run? Running only makes you look guilty.
I wasn't worried about appearances, Walter.
Tell me where you are so I can come meet you and you can turn yourself in.
I'm not going to turn myself in. I need help. I need money.
I might be crazy, but that train sounds like an L.
St. Louis doesn't have an elevated train.
How do you know it's an elevated train?
I think he's right. I lived under an L for 20 years.
No, well, then you can explain the difference in the sound of an elevated train as opposed to a train that's running along the ground. You must have ears like an eagle. Play that back. I want to hear the sound of an elevated train.
All right, wait a minute. Now, what cities have L's? New York's got an L.
Philly. We do.
We got an L. Milwaukee's got an L.
Hold it right there where the lawyer says that he sounds guilty. There's bells in the background. There's a guy on a PA. I want to drop everything but the guy on the PA. Can you do that?
Yeah, I'll try it. Hold on, Sam.
Okay.
Walter, this is Richard.
Richard?
Yeah, right there.
Why did you run? Running only makes
What's he
you look
saying?
guilty.
Sound like next stop. Sound like next stop. Do that again.
Why did you run? Running only makes you look guilty.
Next stop.
Merchandise mart.
Son of a bitch, our boy came home.
That bell is the bell on the Wells Street Bridge. It's 6 blocks away.
I knew that was an elevated train.
Oh, yeah, big dog, you're never wrong.
I found the score somewhat aggressive and distracting at times.
Oh, okay.
It's fine, but there were times when I'm like, is this an episode of Airwolf? Like, things were just very, especially all the helicopter stuff. Like, it was just a lot of helicopter. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, every movement is accentuated.
Yeah.
It's also a movie that's old enough that like random people are going to pop up in it. And you'll be like, oh my God, it's that guy. Or, oh my God, it's that actress. The Jane Lynch, I had totally forgotten that she was in this movie.
Yeah.
Right? The cop on the train at the end is the guy that plays the orderly in Scrubs. And I had totally forgot that he was in this as well. Too, just like little things like that kind of make this movie kind of hum. I feel like this movie is a little bit of a precursor, and maybe it has some other prototypes that go with it of the kind of Taken movies.
Yeah, old guy action.
Where these people halfway through the movie should not be able to walk anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like Harrison Ford should be immobile with the beating that his body has taken. We are getting some passage of time. He is able to heal a little bit. I mean, good God, you fall through a skylight.
Well, jumping off the dam, right? Like jumping off the dam.
I mean,
That's
come
ridiculous.
on. And then you're able to, slowly stalk around a laundry floor.
Yeah.
Okay. Without dragging, 1 foot.
No, yeah.
It does kind of, it's a little bit, but still Harrison Ford looks young. He's young here because he's still going after it. I still greatly enjoy him. Loved him this past year in Shrinking. He's a great actor, right? Yeah. And how poor Julianne Moore, build number
3
4 in this movie. 3.
Third. She's third.
What?
She's third on the list. She comes in third.
And it had been a while since I watched it, so I kept waiting for her to pop back up again.
Yeah, no.
And somehow he was going to need her to get up in that prosthetic library.
Yeah.
Like something else was going to happen. And like, oh no, she's gone.
She is a third build cameo in the movie. Jane Lynch is in this movie as much as
agreed. And you have to go digging for her on IMDb. Where is she? I mean, good God. I forgotten too why actually the wife was killed. I couldn't remember except for the one-armed man. Yeah. And it really is quite the complex storyline that they're able to try to push out like into a tube of sausage at the end of this movie. And I should say that because, Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, may be around. But it's a pretty complicated thing. Like,
they need a reason
for
there to be a big bad. Yeah. Somebody past the one-armed man. And so it gets a little dicey.
But let's just say you knew that his quote friend was bad the moment he stepped out of the tennis club. We all knew it.
Quote unquote friend looks like straight out of Nazi central casting. I would think so.
And on IMDb, that guy's picture is a picture of him playing a Nazi. I think. Hold on. Let me look. Yeah.
So there you go. So he's got Bond villain written all over him,
yeah.
Even when he was Dutch. In Prince of Tides, he had that feel to him.
Yeah, he's from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Beware. born just after the occupation. All right.
He's like that guy that played
there's some of my hot
I love it. I love it. You actually touched on a lot of my not as hot takes, so that's good.
Oh, great. I'm glad I'm in your lukewarm takes.
My scorching hot take.
Oh.
Insert sound effect here. By the way, the sound effect that we're inserting for the scorching hot take.
What are we putting?
Yeah, we put the Oppenheimer bomb in our that's our scorching hot take sound effect. Is the
my God.
The Oppenheimer countdown. Scorching hot take. Here it goes. You ready? Harrison Ford should never, ever, ever have a beard. This may be the worst beard in the history of movies.
Has he had a beard in other movies?
I don't know. I don't care. It's disgusting. The scene of him kissing Celia Ward, it made me want to puke. It made me want to.
It was pretty unattractive.
It was so gross. It was like the first time I saw him, I was like, I think I see pieces of food in that thing. That thing is disgusting.
Okay. We could tell they were forcing the beard because we needed a later transition. It's like putting the hot girl in glasses, right? Like that's what was happening here.
If he had that beard and he showed up at that hospital, they would send him home. They would be, you cannot do surgery with that beard. I'm sorry, get out.
Well, you got to put that lower beard mask on. The lower beard hairnet. Like when you do food packing and you've got people with beards, and they got to put that beard net on.
Come on.
Yeah.
What is? Oh, that's so bad. Let's see. You mentioned discount Eric Stoltz. I had that. You mentioned Julianne Moore, third build. I had that.
Well, I called him Tears for Fears ponytail.
Okay.
Yes.
I do have this question for you. Is this peak Seal Award? Is this like Seal Award's hottest moment?
Hold on. Because I was also a big Sisters fan.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She has this and Sisters going at the same time. This has got to be like the peak Seal Award.
This might have been peak Seal Award. I wanted them to give her character a little bit.
She has nothing to do. She has nothing to do. It's very
other than, I mean, she worked that phone operating scene.
This is an example of this is pretty classic fridging of Seal Award here.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. Oh
wait, did you say you were a Sisters fan, Betsy?
Oh yeah.
Well, what about that, Betsy? I have a top 5.
What?
I have top 5 movies from Sisters actors right here.
Oh my God. Is this really where we are? Because I was watching this movie thinking about what top 5 things will Greg do? Will it be top 5 television shows adapted into movies? Would it be from
that's
the
too
60s?
obvious. That's too obvious.
Too obvious.
Top 5 movies starring the actors from Sisters.
Okay, I need to now pull up Sisters on IMDb.
All right. Okay.
I don't know why we're not sponsored by IMDb. They don't seem to sponsor anybody. I listen to a lot of things. Okay, here we go. Let's go. What's honorable mention?
I have a couple of honorable mentions for some noted guest stars on Sisters. Okay. So starting with noted guest star Paul Rudd. I would say, top Paul Rudd movie. I'm going to give him Clueless for top Paul Rudd movie.
Okay.
And then noted guest star George Clooney was on Sisters. George Clooney was on every show in the late 80s and early 90s, including Roseanne and countless others. I'm going to give George Michael Clayton. Michael Clayton was really George's best offering, I would say.
Okay, great. Okay.
There we go. There's our honorable mentions.
Okay, great. All right. So then 5.
Okay, number 5, we'll start off with Swoosie Kurtz, one of the sisters.
You're putting Swoosie in 5th place?
Yeah, we're starting with Swoosie. I'm going to say that her best outing was probably in Cruel Intentions, when she played the doctor in Cruel Intentions. Fun fact, did you know she was also in Dangerous Liaisons as well? So she doubled up on that story. She did Dangerous Liaisons.
She did both. I know she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 4th.
Okay, 4th, we'll move on to Patricia Callenber.
Okay.
And we're going to say that she peaked as the mom from Signs, from the M. Night Shyamalan Signs.
Yeah, that's pretty
She tells Mel Gibson to tell Joaquin Phoenix to swing away. It's a pretty powerful moment.
That's pretty powerful.
Sneaky good Mel Gibson movie, by the way. Signs.
Yeah.
Like, he's really good in that movie. I wish you weren't a terrible person.
I know. Okay, 3.
3, we'll move on to Seal Award. We'll say this, or maybe when she shows up in Gone Girl. Remember when she shows up in Gone Girl and you're like, oh God, that's Seal Award.
That's Seal Award. Where's she been? She also plays the president in Independence Day, doesn't she?
The sequel? I never saw that.
So. Yeah, Resurgence.
Yeah, I never saw that.
I know. She'd be a good president.
She probably does.
She's also in the Dirty Dancing sequel, Havana Nights. She seems to be in those sequels. Okay,
where are we?
Okay.
Number 2? 2, we'll move on to Sheila Kelly, who was Debbie from Singles, our beloved Debbie from Singles. So
yes.
So that's peak Sheila Kelly right there.
There we go. Love her.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Number 1, I took the biggest name recurring character, and that is, of course, Ashley Judd, who showed up quite a bit in the later seasons of Sisters. I think she was like one of their cousins or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
She was on for a few years. Anyway.
Yeah, you took out the former Mrs. Bruce Springsteen, Julianne Phillips, and
took
her, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, anyway, Ashley Judd, I don't know. I've got her peaking at probably Kiss the Girls. Morgan Freeman. That was big time Ashley Judd territory right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So there you go. Top 5 movies from sisters actors.
Well, that certainly was a random situation. Thank you for that.
Betsy, what's your best scene from The Fugitive?
I mean, there's your chicken house, outhouse, dog house. The thing that, this
Hard
is
target
another
search.
one of those you can't handle the truth that, becomes the, this is why you like movies clip. Right. And I also appreciate throughout the movie because they do so well at the pace and the walk and talks. I mean, it's almost like watching a Law and Order situation, but everyone is really capable. Like they walk into every place, they're like, how many exits are in here? There's 4 exits in this ballroom. Like everybody knows exactly what's going on. And everything's a walk and talk. Which keeps the pace going.
Yeah, can I just say also, I think one of the things that is attractive about the Get It Done team, that you're putting your finger on, is the crosstalk dialogue, right? Like the way that they'll crosstalk over each other all the time. And it's like, it's never distracting. It feels like everybody has a voice and everybody's an expert, kind of thing.
Yes, which I do appreciate that.
Although I do like that. I do like that line where he's like, "What are you doing right now?" And he's like, "I'm thinking." Well, why don't you think me up a coffee?
Think me up a chocolate donut, coffee and a chocolate donut with sprinkles. And they're at a train collision site. I don't know where that comes from, but anyway, craft services. Right. So I had 2 that kind of really stood out. So I'm having a hard time choosing between the 2, but I think I'm going to go with. I like when he gets into that regional hospital, and because he's a doctor, and he kind of has this ability to. Because there's always this element with the Kimball character. You're like, he's a doctor, right? He is not James Bond. He's not Jason Bourne.
Right.
He hasn't been trained how to do any of this stuff. He's just basically a white man with an advanced degree who knows how to move with authority through spaces.
Confidently knows how to walk around hospitals. Yeah.
Yes, that's what he knows how to do. So he knows where to go, what a little room where he would be not very disturbed so he can sew up his side. And he gives you just a little extra on the side, thanks Harrison Ford, while he deals with his wound. And then when he kind of knows to go into a patient's room who's kind of out of it, and that he can be in the bathroom, dye his hair, take off that nasty beard.
Right.
But he also knows how the nurses work, that he can just get behind the door and have the door be open, and she'll move and keep chatting. Fill up the water and go.
Yeah.
So he's able to just kind of transform himself. There's not a ton of dialogue. And then he's able to kind of move on. And then he goes outside and happens to run into the other guard from the thing. And those guys are like, how could you tell just by look at him? It's the upper quadrant, whatever injury. Yeah. And then he gets in the ambulance and leaves. And so there's some elements that I'm definitely suspending belief to get down with this, but I like that element because it just keeps things moving, and I like a good transformation.
Yeah, and I also, it's something that I got to appreciate when I was doing chaplaincy work, right, in seminary, when you're doing like CPE or something like that, is like the activity, like the hive of activity that happens at a hospital. I mean, there are tons of people like all over the hospital. You don't know what any of these people are doing, but you're passing them in the hallway. I mean, maybe there are doctors, maybe there's custodians, maybe there's chaplains like me. You don't know who any of these people are. There's a ton of them all over the place. And if you just walk confidently from one area to another, nobody's going to stop you or bother you. It's really
right.
Yeah.
And the little detail, like his fly was down.
Right. Yeah.
And like the cop tells him, after they have their interaction, have you seen this guy? And he's like, every time I look in the mirror, and your flight's down. Oh, thanks. And off he goes.
I think my favorite scene is the scene where they bust the other fugitive, where they go into the house and they catch the other guy. Because like the movie's kind of clipping along, and it's fun. It's a little cat and mouse, sort of catch me if you can kind of stuff. But then this gets into sort of the seriousness of the situation. This is a really good setting the stakes scene, I think. Which is to say that like the marshals they're not really messing around. Like if you're in range, like you could easily get shot, by these guys, right? And that's what that scene establishes, and I think it establishes it really well. But the part that I like the most, I think, is that you get this glimpse into the Tommy Lee Jones character of Sam when he's talking to discount Eric Stoltz.
I can't hear anything. My ear is. I can't believe you did that.
You think I should have bargained with that guy?
Yeah, I do. You could have missed. You could have killed me.
Yeah. How bad's that ear?
It's terrible. I'm gonna have permanent hearing damage.
Let me see it. Can you hear what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
I don't bargain. You hear that?
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's really like it's a really haunting scene, and especially in like the midst of a kind of a fun movie, like it gives you another side to that Gerard character that's like that makes him a real threat to Dr. Kimball going forward.
And I also found in the end, I mean, the racial angle of that was also a little bit disquieting.
Oh yeah, there is that.
This is the black fugitive with his girlfriend, and the way they bust in the house, and the way they take down the door, and the way they, the whatever destructive angle doesn't really seem to matter. She just gets told to shut up. You don't know what their relationship is. You don't know whether she's been threatened with violence for him to stay there. Or whatever it is, you have no idea. And she's completely dehumanized, and all of that. So it kind of, and then we're back to chasing the white privileged doctor around wherever he is, So it's
true.
I kind of had that other angle to it too. But yeah, you did see how he thinks about his team. And he called them his kids after that.
Yeah, he did. What's your best performance of the movie?
I mean, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, this feels like
the man with one arm.
One, I know this feels like the Dazed and Confused up, where it's like, okay, there's an answer, there's a right answer, but like, for instance, the Amsterdam guy. I have no idea how you say his first name. Jeroen?
Yeah.
Krabbe? The bad guy. That guy sucks, and he's really good at that. Whatever it is that he does, like he's really good at it.
He's good. He's smarmy and good.
Yeah, I think it's Tommy Lee Jones. I don't have another answer.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I got some stats about the movie.
Stats.
The Fugitive opened on August 6th, 1993. Towards the end of summer movie season. This day in 90210. Beep, 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 beep. Well, so they were on a summer hiatus. So we'll just go back to.
I thought we were 24/7.
Yeah, usually we would have summer episodes of 90210, but I guess the Beach Club had been left behind at this point. So so they were on summer hiatus. So I tell you what, we'll go back to the finale of season 3.
Okay.
So the season 3, episode 30, entitled Commencement. Commencement.
Oh.
When graduation day finally arrives for the senior class at West Beverly High, the friends reminisce and ponder their future plans.
Yeah, because I graduated from high school.
Donna Martin graduates. Fugitive had a domestic gross of $184 million. making it the number 3 grossing movie of 1993. Big hit.
That's a
It
big
is
hit.
the number 269th top grossing movie of all time. Between. You ready, Betsy?
I'm ready.
I am not going to have to read descriptions of these movies. You're going to know what these movies are.
Okay, great.
The Fugitive comes between another Tommy Lee Jones movie, Batman Forever, and it comes just ahead of Marvel Studios' Black Widow, starring Scarlett Johansson.
Oh,
Florence
wow.
Pugh. So you get 2 superhero movies, Batman Forever and Black Widow, and then The Fugitive sitting in between them to flirt, marry, kill.
I would say I'm gonna flirt with Black Widow.
Oh.
I'm gonna kill Batman Forever and I'm gonna marry the Fugitive.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Wow. All right. I've flipped Batman Forever and Black Widow.
Yeah. Okay.
But because because of that soundtrack, that Batman Forever soundtrack, man.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Is that Kiss from a Rose?
Yeah, that's Seal. Yeah, that's U2. Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's pretty great. The Fugitive has a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
I'd love to meet the critic that's like, yeah, it didn't work for me. Love to meet that person. What do you think Raj said about this movie?
Oh, he loved it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He's talking about the director here, Davis. What's his first name?
Andrew.
I didn't even look it up. Anthony?
Andrew Davis.
Andrew Davis. He had done Under Siege with Steven Seagal before
yes,
this.
and he's from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
So the St. Patrick's Day stuff wasn't scripted.
No, he just jumped into a parade.
Right. So he really wanted to capture the parade and was granted permission from the mayor's office to film the day of the parade. So the entire sequence was shot with a Steadicam.
That's
without
hilarious.
rehearsal.
Wow.
And they just kind of went out there and did stuff.
Under Siege is pretty good. That may be the only good Steven Seagal movie, by the way.
Well, and Tommy Lee Jones was in that too.
Oh, he was. That's right. Yeah. All right. So he says Davis paints with bold visual strokes so that the movie rises above its action film origins and becomes operatic. 4 out of 4 stars. I would say calm down, Roger. It's a good movie, but let's
it's a Chicago film. He's having a hard time. He's having a hard time. He loves it. He loves
slow down a little bit, Roger. I get it. it. You like that Chicago is in the movie. I get it.
Can't stop.
Just slow down. Jeez.
Well, then you're gonna love the review that I'm gonna share.
My all-time top 10: The Godfather, The Fugitive.
Yeah,
slow down. Janet Maslin has a review.
Okay.
She says both stars have toughness and restraint that make their characters' battle of wits truly hypnotic, and in many ways more credible than it was on television. I mean,
somebody bringing up that it was a television show. Thanks, Janet Maslin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I would expect it to be better. I would expect.
Yeah.
I would expect Wrath of Khan to be better than just a regular old episode of Star Trek, too. You know what I'm saying? You got to step your game up for the movie, right?
For sure. And it's also 30 years later. Yeah. I would expect. So I have a review, Greg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We were holding the spot for your review. What is that?
So it's from Lindy West.
Okay.
Who, the writer of Shrill, who also has reviewed a lot of movies and wrote for, alternative weeklies out in the Pacific Northwest, and has a great compilation of her movie reviews that she put together during the pandemic. That's called Shit Actually, the Definitive 100% Objective Guide to Modern Cinema. That was published in October of 2020.
Right.
And so this is an excerpt from her review of The Fugitive, which is pivotal to the entire book.
Okay.
Objectively, there's only one good movie, and it's The Fugitive. The Fugitive is the best movie. because it has the best lines and is never scary, only interesting and exciting. We didn't need any more movies after The Fugitive. We didn't need any movies before it either. We should erase those. The Fugitive is the only good movie. I wanted to call my new book, The Fugitive is the Only Good Movie, but my publisher wouldn't let me, probably because they're deep in the pockets of Big Gump. Undeterred, I rated every movie in said book on a scale of 0 to 10 DVDs of The Fugitive. I rate The Fugitive 13 out of 10 DVDs of The Fugitive. All other movies should quit. Case closed, gavel.
Wow.
So she rates all the movies in the book out of 10.
So according to
DVDs
Lindy
of The
West,
Fugitive.
there's The Fugitive,
There's no
and then The
other movies.
Godfather. And then-
Right.
then
This is
everything.
it. This is it. The Fugitive is, we're done.
Got it.
Yeah. So there you go.
I
But
appreciate
I would- I
that.
just-
I will, like, that is so true. This is never a bad time. Like, you never have a bad time watching The Fugitive.
No.
That's
And
very
I'm a big audiobook person. Her book on audiobook, amazing. She reads it. It's great. So,
I love
there you
it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did this movie do at the Oscars? Betsy, it had one win, one famous win.
One famous win?
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones.
There you go. Tommy Lee Jones, best supporting actor. Yeah. I will say a little category fraud, best supporting actor. He's in like 98% of this.
Right.
But all right.
I did find on the IMDb some explanation around Julianne Moore. That
Oh, okay.
she originally had more going on. That there was so let's see. Originally Julianne Moore's character had a bigger role in the film.
Okay.
Even after she exposes him, Kimball was to have sought her out for help and eventually fall for her, because that
Oh,
you do
God,
feel like
come
that's
on.
right.
That's
Cliche.
That's a
These
studio
scenes,
note. That's
they
a
were
studio note.
filmed, of course, filmed and deleted from the final cut of the film. This is the reason that her name is still
Oh,
credited as one
God.
of the main stars of the picture. So yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
We got these two good-looking kids. Can we get them?
Can we get them together? So was it nominated for anything else?
It was nominated besides
no,
Best Picture.
Don't tell me. Okay, so how many?
Yeah,
how
so
many
besides Best Picture, it was nominated for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other categories.
Okay. Was the score nominated?
It was John
Really?
Newton Howard. Is that what it is?
Okay. Yes. Okay. That is a person who does
Yeah.
movie scores. So
James
James.
Howard, yeah, James Howard Newton Howard.
Howard, something like that.
Some combination of those.
So there's a lot of action in this.
Mm-hmm.
They only had one chance, evidently, to film that train scene.
Yes.
Just one.
Yes.
So film editing.
Yes.
I don't know whether
Best
we're
film
calling
editing,
things
yes.
at this point.
Best
And
film
then I'm not
editing.
quite sure what the sound category is called at this point.
Yes, it was best sound too. So okay, so far you've gotten sound, film editing, and score. Yes to all three of those.
Okay, how many more do I have to guess?
2 more.
Best director?
No,
No.
they're below the line categories.
Blue one. Cinematography? No. It's not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best cinematography. And then the last one, I don't know that you're
What's the
gonna
last
get.
one?
It's kind
What
of
is it?
hidden. Best
Tell me.
effects. Best effects
Oh,
slash
okay,
special effects. Yeah. So
Yeah. It's a little choppy, I'll say. It's a
little green screeny.
choppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's okay.
But it's fine. I mean,
Okay.
it's decent
You know.
for 1993. Come on.
Yeah. And evidently Harrison Ford did, it might taken he did actually hurt himself running around in the woods. He tore some
Of course he
ligaments.
did. Of course.
So that's why later in the film, when you do see him walking around, he's limping because he wasn't going to get surgery until after the film was over.
Oh my God. Come on.
So that's why he is so limpy. I thought maybe he was just really into it, but no, the limp is actually
Oh, my
real.
God. I think, Harrison Ford, who famously broke his foot on the Millennium Falcon, filming the new Star Wars movies. I just think this guy just needs to stay away from sets. He's a danger to himself and others,
I agree.
He only does these movies to buy airplanes so that he can keep flying and crashing them on golf courses. Like, come on. Anyway, all right. Moving on.
Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven ground, barring injuries, 4 miles an hour. That gives us a radius of 6 miles. What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, and doghouse in that area. Checkpoints go up at 15 miles. Your fugitive's name is Dr. Richard Kimball. Go get him.
What's the lasting legacy of this movie? We have a lot. I would say I wrote down reimagined classics. So this idea of revamping like old TV shows and stuff like that, because it feels like this idea that Hollywood leans on IP, seems like a new phenomenon, but this has been happening forever. I remember, back in the 90s, there was Beverly Hillbillies movie, and there were multiple Addams Family movies and Brady Bunch.
And this
movie.
wasn't this turned into a TV series then too? In 2020? Like it's gone from TV to movie to TV, hasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
It's like that sort of.
Right. I mean, there's always something like this. There's always some old 50s or 60s show that gets dusted off. Henry Cavill was in a Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie not too long ago. This idea of I don't know, what's something that we got? Oh, we got old Fugitive scripts. Let's see if we can doctor one of those up and turn it into a movie. It's like this sort of Hollywood shorthand has been going on for a while, it feels like.
Right. Also, the idea of taking a beloved actor. I mean, we talked about it a little bit with kind of older guy action. The Taken movies would be an example of this too. Liam Neeson as a person that people seem to like, in the way that people have affinity for Harrison Ford as an actor for this character, but him as a person. Because in a way, it's like he's playing Richard Kimball, but he's also Harrison Ford.
Right.
Like the super aggressive opening title sequence where their names are flip-flopping around. I'm like, all right, settle down, right? This is Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, okay, get it. That we're kind of we're casting you because you're a good actor, but we're also casting you as a person.
Right.
There's a little bit of that going on. I mean,
Harrison Ford would sell a movie. I mean, he was in that Schwarzenegger zone, right? Where it was it didn't matter what the movie was if it was a Harrison Ford movie, Yeah.
And Cruise. I mean, you're your guy, Cruise. I mean, you can imagine a remake of this with, Cruise but Cruise almost feels too, super capable, even though Harrison Ford has been an action star as Indiana Jones. And even though probably here, Tom Cruise, if he played this role now, is older than Harrison Ford was when he played this
right
part.
Yeah.
It's interesting to kind of think about that.
Yeah, there was I saw a fun fact one time that Tom Cruise is older than Paul Newman was in The Color of Money. Where Paul Newman was playing the old guy, giving way to the young buck, Tom Cruise coming up. Could you ever imagine a scenario where Tom Cruise would play the grizzled old veteran to some up and coming young?
I think he thinks that's what he was Maverick, doing in Top Gun. Yeah, Maverick. That's what
even in Maverick, it was I'm the grizzled veteran, but I can still fly planes better than any of these kids can. It's I don't know. It's just very different.
Because he has a hard time ceding the floor. I think we're all aware of that as a struggle for our friend. In life all the time.
I will say that it's shocking to me that some of these old shows still have life in them. I remember when Netflix announced the Wednesday series. I was like, who's gonna watch it? Who even knows what the Addams Family is, right? In 2023. And I'll be damned, it's a hit show. It's what is this?
Well, and it does make me think about this time in the range of shows from the 60s. Like, let's make a Get Smart movie. Let's make a this, that you kind of start trolling, the IP from that time and seeing what you might remake. Because at the same time, it becomes nostalgia pieces, right?
Right.
So like, well, who's the audience for this, right? So you're looking at a boomer audience who remembers Ford for Indiana Jones, for Star Wars, but then also might remember this television show that their parents like to watch, maybe, and has some sort of, or they watched. It's an interesting.
But then my Gen Z kids
combo.
love Wednesday, right? And so it's like, what's that all about? I don't get it. Anyway.
Well, you cast hot people.
Yeah, it's true.
Hot people at a boarding school. Greg, boarding school. I'm telling you. It sells.
So when this movie was made in the 90s, The Fugitive was basically like 30 years old. So when we think about shows now that would be like 30 years old, from now, so like your Friends and your ERs and all of that stuff, Lost. Will any of these shows get big screen revivals, do you think?
Well, Lost isn't 30 years old yet.
No, it's like 20. Yeah, it's like 20.
Yeah, it's like 20. It's hard to choose like a medical drama.
Yeah.
Because those always get new life. Medical dramas, law dramas, things like that always get comebacks.
I think like 10 years from now, they'll have like a Dexter movie, starring like some up and coming actor or something.
I could see that. It's the things that really have the concepts behind them. It's like 24, like something like that. Like you could see that being remade and put into a movie.
Yeah.
It's the things that really have interesting clocks on them, concepts where there's a beginning and an end. Because it makes me actually curious about the television show.
Yeah.
Every week he's barely staying ahead. And I think I'm guessing that on the show he would, with his doctor skills and his smart white guyness, he was solving problems for other people.
Yeah, it was the Incredible
you
Hulk.
would run into.
Yeah.
It was right. It was David Banner. So you like in the way, because the other scene that I did like from the film was when he looks at the film for the kid and he's watching that doctor in the haste of not his fancy hospital. This is Cook County Hospital, right? This is, hectic, underpaid, things are zooming in all the time. And he watched that doctor not look at it, her send that kid to observation, him know that something's not going on. And then he comes, to change everything up. I feel like that is a nod to probably what happened.
Yeah.
So is he in the same town all the time? Does he have to leave town, come back to town? Like, I don't really quite know how 120 episodes of a show happens of this concept.
Yeah,
so,
it's like, I guess they did make an 18 movie. I was thinking, there's always these concepts of like, the weekly, like we're going to come in, solve the situation. Oh, wait, somebody's chasing us out of town. We'll leave.
Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Magnum PI, Baywatch. I mean, you can bring back.
And then, of course, it's staring me right in the face. Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible is one of these TV shows. But like, it's had such a life as a movie franchise that you forget the TV franchise that preceded it a lot of times. Yeah. Anyway, TV becoming movies, becoming TV. I just think that this is just a cycle that we're going to live with forever. And
get some new ideas. Come on.
Hey, and even like things like Barbie, maybe take an IP idea, but put an interesting spin on it and see what happens,
how about this? I didn't kill my husband. Oh my, what?
I love it. Okay, who is this movie for, Betsy?
It's for, I kind of said it was for boomers already a little bit.
Yeah, I said it was for dads, but I guess it's. But
it's also, it's got pretty mass appeal. Its numbers speak to, the well cast, well written.
Yeah.
Yeah, they marketed this movie well. It's
Yeah.
hitting everybody. It's like, we can get past some swear words and let little Tommy watch this blockbuster rental with us too. I think it was like there's here's a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine.
What's your rating for this movie out of 5? I got to tell you, I'm very top heavy right now for this year's movies.
We've only done 1.
I know. Well, we've done 2, and so far my 2 are very, very top heavy.
I'm giving it a 4, Greg.
Oh, okay. 4.
I'm giving it 4 out of 5 DVDs of The Fugitive.
I started with a 4 and then I bumped it up a half point, so I'm at a 4.5.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
I just said, as solid an action movie as anything made today, doesn't wear out its welcome. That's what I really do like about this movie. It gets in and gets out without a lot of extra.
It does. It does. I mean, thank God they didn't do what I thought they were going to do with that Julianne Moore situation.
Right, yeah. It's like, I mean, that's sort of the beauty of the ending, is that they get in the car together and then it's like, well, what else is there to do? Nothing. Okay, credits. It's just like
nothing. Here, let me crack open this ice pack for you.
Exactly.
Take off these cuffs. Let's go get a beer. Like, I'm really, we're not even going to go into, and they did the full trial before they did the rest of the credits. It's all prelude.
We're on the bus like within like 3 minutes after the movie started. Yeah, it's crazy.
Boom, Andrew on it.
Oh, so usually we just gloss over this question, but this is actually a good one. Why did the Academy nominate this movie? This is a Best Picture nominated movie by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science.
I agree with you. I think that is a fascinating thing.
I mean, unless they just wanted people to watch the show. Like, if they wanted people to watch the Oscars.
Fare.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is some popcorn fare action movie. Now, I think it is well acted and well cast.
I feel like it's the equivalent of nominating Top Gun for Best Picture. I mean,
no,
yes,
I do not.
That's what it feels like to me.
No. There's more acting and there's more plane flying in that other one.
I mean, it's just it's very weird, especially in this time. When we're looking at all these like Merchant Ivory pictures, that there's just a big fun popcorn movie just thrown in the middle of all this.
Well, especially when we're talking about only nominating 5 movies.
Yeah.
Now, you and I have discussed what a bummer the other movies nominated this year are.
Yes.
So perhaps, faced with the slate, was this a choice?
They needed some balance.
Also, I do think, Greg, I mean, people watch the Oscars for the stars. They do.
Yeah.
And this
you get Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones on your TV show.
Yeah, on your red carpet.
Oh, totally. This is why I said that, like, the Spider-Man movie a few years ago should have been nominated. You get 10 movies. Right. It's not going to win. Movies. Who cares? But, like, get Tom Holland to the Oscars, for God's sake.
Right.
Get Zendaya to the Oscars. Get on you, Oscars, I guess. Still a bunch of Mike movies. And you left out Denzel again. Congratulations.
I feel like you should have nominated Philadelphia instead of The Fugitive.
Exactly.
But, and then we've got oh my gosh.
What did Emily say about The Fugitive?
I forgot to ask her because I thought we were doing
you thought we were doing
okay, so when we do Groundhog Day, I'm going to come in with 2 Emily comments.
Okay, all right.
We'll do both.
Let's see. What did Whoopi Goldberg say about this in her Oscars? I bet she probably referenced it. I'll see if I can find a clip of her talking about it. We'll put it right here.
That's cool, because neither one of them was in one of the biggest hits of the year, The Fugitive, a thriller about a person who spent days and days, and days running just one step ahead of the law. But enough about Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. The Fugitive in the books. Next up, Betsy. It's your own personal Groundhog Day since you just watched this movie.
I just watched this movie. I watched this movie. I showed it when I was on duty last weekend, and kids were like, "What's this movie? What's this movie about?" And they were interested. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a great one. Don't drive
There you
angry.
go. All right, that's it. The Fugitive is in the books. Next up, Betsy, we have like a personal movie, one that you've already just seen. Groundhog Day is coming up next time.
Stop it! Stop. You're terrible.
All right, that's it. The Fugitive in the books. Next up, Betsy, we got Groundhog Day.
Okay. You're scaring me a little bit.
I'll stop the bit. Betsy, thank you for helping to clear my name with this podcast.
I didn't kill my wife.
I knew you actually cared. I knew you actually cared all along. When you said I don't care, I knew that was a lie, that you actually did care.
You knew I really cared.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Know me. All right, bye.